everybody. My name is Samantha Scheigert, and welcome back to another episode of my podcast. Today, I am extremely excited to be discussing several different topics that have not been discussed on my show. Keep listening if you want to learn more about the Battle of Stalingrad, some different propaganda techniques, and Animal Farm. The Battle of Stalingrad marked the turning point of the war for Germany. According to Helicon's article on the Battle of Stalingrad, the siege of Stalingrad had many drastic effects. The Germans lost 400,000 troops, 750,000 Soviet military casualties, and an unknown number of civilians passed away. The German Sixth Army decided not to wait until all his army reached the area. Due to this, the Soviets were able to concentrate on their attack and destroy the army one at a time. Later on, the Soviets planned to have a massive attack against the Germans. The Sixth Army ended up surrendering on January 31st, 1943, with a loss of 1.5 million troops. This war was the most important and impactful war of World War II. In case you guys want more details on this battle, I highly suggest going to David Clay Large's article on the battle. His article discusses how this battle was one of the most pivotal engagements of World War II. He talks about how this battle marked the first time a German field marshal surrendered, bringing humiliation to Hitler. I have also read into Gene Santoro's article called Fighting for the Truth about the Battle of Stalingrad. This website is written in a Q&A format, and it explains the tactics used by both sides during the battle, as well as the role of different entities, such as the NKVD and the tactics that they used to win the battle, as well as their leaders. Enough talk about this battle. Let's talk about Animal Farm. I have been following along with all of the current events, and I have been very interested in Animal Farm. I feel very thankful that today I have the opportunity to talk to Snowball. Hi Snowball, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
One of the main topics I wanted to discuss with you today is what gave you the idea to install the windmill, even though it ended up being Napoleon who installed it.
All right, so I originally had the lovely idea of installing a windmill because I knew it would improve the lives of the animals. Plus, the windmill would be able to give us electricity. However, dear old Napoleon believed that we should just concentrate on growing food.
Oh wow. So what would you say originally gave you the idea of installing a windmill?
Well, you see, I was walking in the long pasture of the farm when I came across a small hill. Then it came to me that since this hill was the highest point on the farm, it represented an ideal place for a windmill.
And rumor has it that Napoleon was actually the one who built the windmill. Is this true?
To me, the windmill was an exciting prospect because the windmill would supply the farm with electricity. Napoleon disapproved of the windmill. He believed that the animals should focus on food production. To Napoleon, the windmill represented both a waste of time and energy. Later on, the animals held a meeting, and I gave the others descriptions on the leisurely life that the windmill would allow. After the windmill was put to vote, Napoleon called out 9 ferocious dogs who chased me off the farm. It was rather unfair, I must say.
Wow. So did Napoleon actually end up installing it?
Well, I heard that 3 weeks after I was chased off the farm, Napoleon surprised everyone by announcing that the windmill would be built. He sent Squealer, one of the pigs, to the other animals to lie and say that the windmill was Napoleon's idea and that I stole the plans from him.
Wow, I did not know that all of that went on. That is so cruel and dishonest of Napoleon. Sadly, that is all the time we have for this interview. Thank you so much, Snowball, for being here with me today.
Of course, it was a true honor being here.
Well, we have all received first-hand information of what is happening on the farm. Talking with Snowball about the Battle of Windmill brought a connection to my mind. The Battle of Windmill is an allegory for the Battle of Stalingrad, where Hitler breaks his pact with Stalin and attacks Stalingrad. The destruction of the windmill represents the destruction of what the Soviets achieved when World War II began. Both battles destroyed the cities, and there were many losses. The Soviets were able to survive these attacks just like the animals in Animal Farm. Hitler's retreat is considered a turning point of World War II. Propaganda also has a strong connection to Animal Farm. For example, Napoleon and Snowball opposed each other before and on the day of elections for leader. The pigs used propaganda to persuade the other animals to vote for them, such as vote for Snowball in the 3-day week and vote for Napoleon in full Manger. Also, when the windmill was destroyed, Napoleon used propaganda by hiding the truth to explain why Snowball was to blame for the destruction of the windmill. Oh my gosh, Napoleon just sent me a link to a news article. Let me see what it's all about. Okay, so as we all know, one of the most major events going on today is the coronavirus. Near the start of President Trump's coronavirus briefing, he made a statement that betrayed better than just about anything how he views the purpose of such briefings. Before playing a campaign-style video used to show his decisive action on the virus, Trump queued it up by talking about what he wanted to do after the video was played. President Trump's self-promotion in these coronavirus briefings have led to questions about whether networks should carry them live. As of Monday, April 6, he seemed to be daring all of them to stop, turning the whole thing into a spectacle of government-produced propaganda. This article relates to Animal Farm because it talks about propaganda today. To give you guys a little history lesson, propaganda was first discovered in 1622 when Pope Gregory V created the Congregation for the Propagation of the Faith for the purpose of creating faith in non-Catholic countries. Sadly, we have ran out of time for this podcast, but I hope you guys enjoyed listening, and thank you, Snowball, for joining me.